Hello. 2009 has been a very interesting time in my life. May 19th, I had an accident, which I had a stroke. And I had another stroke on July 9th. And within 20 hours I had the third stroke, July 10th. I want to talk to you about what happened July 9th. I remember clear as a bell that I was standing in front of the largest column I've ever seen in my life. On both sides of this column, let's say it's like a redwood. It's like a big red oak tree, but only it was a column. On both sides of the column there was white light. It was very blinding. As I'm trying to look at this column, I hear, "Christopher, it's time to come home." I realized what was going on. I was at heaven. I was looking at the column, protecting my eyes from seeing Jesus. One man who had, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble talking. 3 strokes will do that to you. Paul had his eyes blinded by Jesus when on his road to Damascus. It really thought of me to protect my eyes. I realized Jesus was telling me that it was time for me to come from earth and be in heaven with Him. I have a wife and 5 children. It didn't take but a half a second, much faster than I can talk. I told Jesus, "I'm sorry, I need to be with my family." The next second, I was laying in the hospital. Somebody was walking away from me, and he turned back and looked, and he saw that I was looking at him. And he said, "We've got him back." I realized I wasn't anything that they had done, except for what God had given was free will. He wanted me, but He respected my decision to be with my family. That's the great thing about Jesus. It's free will. However, He wasn't done with me. I'd been up I went up to heaven again. This time I can see steps going up to a round building that was where the big giant column was, but everything was still bright white. And I had a better picture of where I can see things. Again I hear, "Christopher, it's time to come home." And I says, "I'm sorry, Lord, I need to be with my family." I tried to turn away where the steps, the bottom landing, and there were two people there. I can see they were translucent orange. I can see through their bodies, but they had a coloration of a clear orange. The reason I figured later why they were orange. When the sun is going down, you can see the puffy clouds. You can see that orange in the cloud. It's just like being able to see these two people. I had to look at them. I realized that it was one of my buddy's father. He never looked so great. And the other person was my grandmother. She'd passed around a little bit 9 years earlier. She looked like also, and she was in her 30s. She looked fabulous. Neither one of them talked to me, but God gave me the ability to feel and think with them. We didn't talk through the mind, through the mouth, or anything like that. I can feel peace that they have, the joy, the fulfillment of being with Jesus. I know both of those people had accepted Jesus before they passed. Both of them accepted what God did on the cross. Jesus died. And rose back after 3 days. Both of them accepted Christ before they passed. In fact, his was a couple days before he died, and my grandmother was a couple months before she accepted. So, don't say that you have to be a person for decades Christians. No, you can anytime.